Hi, Leo. Hope you guys are doing great today. So I'm going to be doing a relationship only read today. By the way, my name is Jackie. For those of you who are new here, usually I combine tarot and astrology. Got a lot of calls, a lot of emails asking me to do a tarot only for a relationship extended. So I'm going to be doing for those of you who are in relationship, those of you who are in separation, and those of you who are single. And we're going to put the timestamps in the description box below. So let's get right into things. I'm going to drop the screen down so that you guys could see the cards because I know you guys like to see the cards. I'm going to start with those of you who are in relationship. So let's get right into things. So you're in relationship. Nobody's going anywhere right now. Maybe you're thinking about it, but you're definitely in relationship. So starting out with the King of Coins as you, and you're being challenged by the Six of Wands. The basis of the situation is the Nine of Wands, Six of Cups in the past. So some of you may be getting back with somebody in the space in Mercury retrograde season. Lots of people are. It does seem like that anyway. Okay. Okay, Leo, let's see what we have going on for you guys. So the situation right now, well, I'm sorry, not the situation, but you are the King of Coins right now. Very interesting because the King of Coins, you may be very focused on money right now. You may be very focused on your lack of willingness to actually change in a situation where if you're in, let's say, a marriage or a serious relationship and your spouse is saying, or your partner is saying like, look, you can't keep doing A, B, and C. And if we're going to work, we have to do this, this, and this. And you know, there could be situations surrounding finances. It could be situations surrounding communicating differently, issues regarding intimacy, anything like that. And it's the King of Coins is very solid energy, but there's an element of greed about him. And I know that sounds very negative, but it's more like a lack of willingness kind of thing. It's like, look, I'm going to show up, but this is what I can do and this is what I can't do as far as willingness goes. And Leo, that's showing up as you. So it's like whatever you're with, whatever, and this might be very well founded where you're like, look, I'm willing to do that, but I'm not doing that. You know, there are limits here, right? But what's challenging this is the Six of Wands energy. And the Six of Wands energy has to do with family. It has to do with, it could have to do with inheritance. It has to do with generosity, the idea of support, right? So there could be this challenge where whether maybe you're experiencing this coming from a partner, or you're showing up as this, where maybe just for example, Leo, maybe you get an inheritance and you're like, look, man, I don't want to share it. You know, I don't want to share it within the relationship. Or there could be some sort of lack of reciprocity as far as like, I have your back, you have mine, where you may be in this space in relationship where you're like, look, I know I'm in a relationship with a good person, but this is not a person where I feel like they have my back unconditionally. So a lot of you may be just very focused on that right now and not being willing to come off your game, because it's very hard. If you feel like you've been with somebody, if you feel like you are with somebody, I mean, I just feel like this is kind of a commentary on the human condition where they're not doing a lot of changing. It's very hard for us to be like, oh, I have bells and whistles going here, where I feel very excited to make changes that you're now requesting of me, because they're not doing it. Do you know what I mean? And it's less to be spiteful, and it's more about like what's fair, what's not. And particularly with what's going on with Mars. I know I said that I promised I wouldn't incorporate astrology into it, but I just want to say this month is there's going to be a huge focus on what's fair, what's not fair. And there's going to be very little patience for what is not fair, right? So obviously, if somebody has very high expectations about what they're expecting from you, but they're not able to deliver on what it is that you're requesting from them, it's going to be very hard to feel very excited about being in it. But I feel like there was this attempt in the recent past here where either you guys reconciled, maybe you had been broken up, and you were feeling kind of nostalgic for each other and you guys got back together, or maybe you guys were together and your relationship was kind of like wonky, and this was about you finding, or at least trying to find the right balance in the relationship, especially if you guys went through a period of feeling like either you or maybe they felt like someone suffered some sort of mistreatment. Maybe you both did, and you were both in this space of wanting to remedy something. It's like when you guys get together and show up and say like, okay, this is what I need, this is what you need, whatever, there seems to be resistance. There seems to be a lot of digging in, and maybe there could be ego involved. It can, honestly show up like that. But we have the Nine of Wands as the basis of the situation, which is working with the Lover's energy. Now, the Nine of Wands, let's talk about this first, because first of all, this indicates this has been going on for a while and you're very tired, some sort of cyclical situation. It could be these things that just keep coming up, no matter how much you don't want them to, they do. And you still have fire in your belly for the situation, but you're in a space of feeling very, very defensive right now in the moment. And probably very justifiable, but you want to make sure that you don't stay in any kind of negative mindset right now. And you certainly don't want to, end anything too spontaneously. If you can, try to avoid that. Try to avoid any big conversations that can very easily kind of roll into an argument that can go south really, really quickly this month. Things are going to get much lighter. Those four big players, we're going to have, Jupiter, Mercury, Pluto, Saturn, all coming direct, finally going direct by the end of the month. And we're going to feel a lot less held back, and things will feel a lot lighter and far different until the eclipse next month. But regardless, right now, that does seem to be, you're in this like, you want to make sure that you stay very balanced and in control. Things could certainly go in your favor, okay, if you can do that. Now, this is working with the idea of the Lover's energy, and this is where I feel like it's tricky, because Leo, I feel like somebody's asking something of you, or you're asking something of someone else, or you're asking it of each other, where, okay, all right, we need to balance stuff out here. There's stuff, we have stuff, we're like everybody else. But it's like you're barely holding on to being able to work this stuff out. I want to say some of you are losing your patience. Others of you are losing your desire for it. It's just like, but the Lovers is Gemini, and it is a choice energy. It's a choice of recognizing that things aren't perfect and that we have to work at stuff, which is very healthy and very beautiful, but it's very hard, like I said before, to work at stuff when you're just like, I'm so tired of this bullshit, and it's like, but listen, everything is happening for a reason. And I know you don't want to hear about that, but that is what the star does indicate to me. Now, what I like about this is in numerology, this is the Strength energy, and that's your card, right? Which tells me that if you guys have been having a hard time, if you feel like things have been tested, things can absolutely be I'm going to say addressed, as long as balance is had. But everything that's going on here, there is this vibe that things are going to change for the better after a difficult time, and that you need to look for the markers of that. And I'm saying that because it is showing up in your recommended approach, right? So we're looking at the stars, a recommended approach. Understand that, okay, things are going to get better. Things have been difficult, but you have to look at the serendipity in this. You have to look at the fact that you guys are likely soulmates, and soulmate energy is some of the hardest energy to deal with, because it's about learning lessons. We romanticize the idea of soulmate, but those of you who watch tarot and know astrology understand that soulmate energy is very, very challenging. It's always about lessons. Can't we just be peaceful and just, so a lot of you are in that space for sure, right? Having to do with this relationship. Now you're dealing with an Ace of Coins, right? This is a partner that you're dealing with. So Ace is brand new, and Coins is a very auspicious energy, by the way, but this is somebody who wants happiness and contentment with you. But this is somebody who wants what they want. They want what they want. And they want to achieve what they want. They want to have a foundation of stability. They want to have this new start with you. They want to have all of this beautiful energy with you. But it's how do I say this? It's kind of like they have an idea crystallized in their mind of exactly how they wish things to be and how they feel things should roll out. Now, your challenge here is the Page of Swords. So when this comes up as a challenge energy, this could indicate you might be feeling like you're just having some lousy luck right now. I mean, this could indicate just bad legal news for you guys as a couple, or some sort of situation that comes in, maybe having to do with taxes, or some sort of situation going on with children in your life, your children, their children, or the idea of children is an issue. But this is playing on your psychology more than anything. So some of you may be in a space in your relationship where you're wanting to have a child, or maybe you thought you wanted to have a child and now maybe you don't, something like that, or something can literally be going on in the 3D with surrounding the idea of children. It could be that, but it gets, because the Page of Swords it indicates some sort of information coming into you, but it's showing up as a block. So some sort of information either coming to you as epiphany or realization, or you reading something where, I don't know, I just feel like there's a changing of a mind here about something. And for you, because this is your internal psychology. So again, now we have the Six of Coins here in the near future. Again, I have your back, you have mine. This does indicate, again, property, family, inheritance, generosity, support, helping each other out with money, helping each other out with just being there for each other, just being very, very supportive of each other in the near future. So, for some of you, you may be realizing like you're having a hard time maybe conceiving, or you're having a very hard time with some sort of legal issue, or you're having some sort of hard time, and then you guys are there for each other, right? Or at least there is this attempt to be there for each other, but it ultimately ends up in an argument with the Five of Wands. And this is, competition and battle of the wills and one-upmanship and lack of agreement and strong opinions. And while it's a minor arcana, this could be super uncomfortable while you're in it. There's no question, right? I mean, sure. This is Saturn and you. This is like, hey, what's going on here? This, when I say rivalrous energy, well, I do this, well, I do that kind of thing, and speaking over each other and feeling very much not on the same page. And that's sort of growing into something. And it could certainly have to do with money, but I feel like that's more tangential. Like, I feel like whatever's going on here, Leo, I don't know if this makes sense, but I'm getting like a much deeper energy. Like, what's really going on here is much deeper than what you guys are labeling as the main issue. Okay, so we have the Three of Wands, we have the Ace of Cups, we have the Ace of Coins, we have the Sun, we have the Hierophant. Wow. Some heavy hitters here. What? Okay. So we have the Three of Wands energy. Three of Wands is beautiful energy. It's Sun in Aries, So this is one of the good fortune cards. And this indicates like a wedding. This indicates just an important relationship, something being realized, moving on to realize some plans, but dealing with it in a very unconventional way. So again, if it had to do with, like, for example, if it had to do with you guys are trying to get pregnant, maybe you're trying some IVF treatments, or you're seeking some sort of outside help. If it has to do with like taxes or some sort of legal issue, you're trying some sort of new counsel. If this has to do with, whatever it is in your life that you guys are trying to move forward in, you're trying in a very different way. And that's like, okay, cool. That's just what the doctor ordered, right? Ace of Cups energy, because this is going to allow a new beginning. This is like love and key emotional events, guys. This is a fertility and a pregnancy energy as well. This is about parenting. This is about falling in love. And if you guys have been in a relationship for a long time, this is you guys just being able to show each other very strong love and very strong support. And I feel like this is just very interesting to me, because then I feel like something about whatever's going on here is going to sort of suck you inside of yourself, right? The Eight of Coins is all about mastery and you really focusing on doing something really well and trying to improve something in your life. The Eight of Coins is very, very focused on responsibility, very focused on being very, just showing up, showing up with, being responsible, very focused. And then we have the Sun, which is your ruler. Beautiful energy, guys. I mean, this is a baby card. What? So again, now it's silly to think that all Leos are in that space, but someone is resonating with this. If there was some sort of fertility issue, and it does look like things are definitely going to be going for the better for you guys. So congratulations, honestly, because we have the Sun, which is about it's illumination. What's beautiful about the Sun is that the Sun is one of the it's a luminary, and it's said to really allow us focus and allow sort of like the tools to be in our toolbox that we need to make something happen for ourselves. And then to have that being clarified by the Hierophant, it doesn't necessarily have to be marriage, but it's certainly an important relationship. It has to do with being able to conform to something, to be able to meet expectations. That's being clarified by the Chariot, which is about a situation being expedited and moving away very quickly from something that's toxic, something that hasn't been working, towards something that is far more meant for you. So whatever's been toxic in this situation, you're moving away from it. As the Ten of Swords means that there's been a painful history here that there needs to be an ending to. And the ending to that, like maybe sitting down and having that open conversation about maybe somebody doesn't want to have kids, maybe the business needs to be sold, maybe whatever it is, whatever needs to be explored that could be painful. There's got to be an ending of a challenging time period so that somebody can be happy and find happiness. So you're going to know how that resonates with you. For some of you, if you're in a situation where you feel like you're just not in the right situation, the Chariot being clarified by the Ten of Swords, being clarified by the Ten of Coins, could certainly be you asking for a divorce because you're very focused on your happiness. For others of you, it's leaving behind a very painful time period and just sort of accepting that something is the way it needs to be within the situation, having to do with your kids or having to do with some sort of legality or some sort of situation, right, that went on. Maybe things didn't go exactly as you wanted them to initially, but now it's time for you to focus on your happiness together, right, as a couple. So depending on obviously what else is aspecting your life. I always want to say that because it really does depend on, I always want to say that with these general readings. It does depend on your personal chart and how the energy is aspecting it. All right, so from the couples, we're going to go to now those of you who are in separation. Those of you who are in separation, still in each other's energy though, right? So we'll pull across here and we'll pull some oracles and we'll see what comes out. King of Swords. Oh yeah, Leo, you're trying very much to just stay in your mental. You're almost like you don't even want to, you don't want to think about your heart. You don't want to allow your heart to enter the equation at all, right? This seems very logical. And what is the challenge there is the Three of Swords, is the pain that you've experienced because of this situation, the heartbreak, the pain of a truth, the betrayal, maybe even some depression. Some of you may be struggling from that, but even though the lights have come on, right, the confusion is going to be gone here. And you're in a position where you can move on from the shock or the pain and really start to do some very good healing. But it's not so easy to just stay in that mental realm with a broken heart. I mean, it's just not. People do it, we do when we have to, but it's not easy. Wow. Okay. So coming into this energy, we have the World card, which means like lesson learned, right? Message sent, message received. Okay. Lesson learned in the recent past. Okay. So the world energy is Saturn, lesson learned. So now it's time, like there's been some sort of lesson that you went through in this relationship. And I feel like for a lot of you, there were a lot of cycles that have gone on, right? You were together, you weren't together, you broke up, you did that, right? You know, that whole jam, right? And now it's like, okay, let's just cut the bullshit. Let's just be happy. Let's just, get into a fulfilling and loving relationship and let's just try to make this work. Whatever happened. We learned our lessons. Now let's move on. And then you're in this space though of saying like, I want to just stick with the facts. Let's just move forward. Let's just be very pragmatic, but the pain is there. Now, Leo, you might be the one, they might be the one. Relationship reads, the energies are always too enmeshed to say with any, perfect clarity that this is 100% your energy or theirs, right? I always suggest when you listen to relationship reads when it comes to tarot, certainly listen to everything holistically and apply the messages accordingly. But because this Three of Swords is all about pain, maybe you learn the lesson here, but maybe the person you were dealing with was still nursing some hurt. Or maybe you learned the lesson and you were still trying to say, okay, well, let's work through whatever hurt, right, in this energy. You separated now, but we're getting a lay of the land of what's going on here. Now, the basis of the situation, the Four of Pentacles is all about self-protection. So either you, the person that you were dealing with, or maybe both of you were in this back on your heels kind of space, right? Where you were very focused on your security and self-protection and wanting to improve things for yourself. You didn't want to go back to the way things were the last time around in the relationship. You wanted a better version of what you know to be possible. And I feel like they wanted that too, but it does seem like to me that there was an awful lot of pain that was felt here. Now, this is working with the current situation of the King of Pentacles, and this is very much a like you first know you kind of energy, right? The King of Pentacles is the Aries and Taurus energy, and while you want to be generous and giving and loving, and they want to be generous and giving and loving in their own way, there is this idea of, right, this desire, well, on the one hand, the desire to be in the settled relationship, but then on the other hand, being a little funny about money or being a little funny about possessions, or meaning like being very dug into what you're willing to do and not do. They might be a little dug in according to what they're willing to do and not do regarding finances, or even regarding changing in any way to benefit the relationship. You know what I mean? Like, when you do A, B, and C, this really hurts me. And like, well, when you do that hurts me. And then it ends up being this sort of rivalrous kind of energy where nobody wins, right? And that's the tricky part, because the King of Pentacles by nature, it does seem like there is some element of subjective greed that's going on here within this connection. Now, Spirit is asking you to look at the Nine of Swords energy. This is the advice. The advice is look at the Nine of Swords. What is the Nine of Swords? It's look at the anxiety. Look at any depression that's been experienced because of this. Look at how you're feeling and look at how are you trying to fit a circle in a square. I mean, it really is down to that. Right? Because your way through something is not very clear, even though, okay, you guys are in separation and your way to the other side. And this is a challenging energy because I feel like there's a lot of emotion here, but there's also a lot of ego. And I feel like it's not one-sided. And so, and it's very much this recognition on both ends of what needs to be different if you guys were to work, but nobody really wants to come off their mark there. So the way of being able to see the way through that is very difficult. And that's something that needs to be looked at if you guys are ever going to work, because that has to have some light shown on it where it's like, why are you not getting off your mark? Why are you feeling so anxious about this? Why are you feeling so overwhelmed? Well, because my partner did this, this, and this, and they won't do that, that, and that, and they won't admit, and they won't that. And it's like, well, everybody's got to look at that equally if you're going to be able to move forward in that way. We have the Page of Pentacles out external to you. So this is your partner showing up here. Okay, like you showed up here and this is your partner. Page of Pentacles. Page indicates obviously a new cycle. Pentacle is new connection. You straight up, you may be dealing with a partner who's just very focused on a new job or some sort of new path, some sort of new life that they're involved in right now. And that's where they may be. And so your challenge here is the Emperor energy. This is your internal psychology, but this is a block. You want to ask yourself, are you feeling maybe a little too entrenched in your ego, maybe a little power hungry in this relationship? You might be, maybe for good reason. I'm not judging, I don't judge, but these are all like, this is the kind of energy where somebody would do anything to sort of get their own way. And they, it's very difficult to recognize healthy boundaries. Now, as part of your internal psychology, this could be something that you're struggling with, meaning it's fear, though. Everything I just said is all based in fear. And it's that fear that's getting in the way of you being able to take the bull by the horns and make the phone call, or be able to say, okay, look, I admit I did A, B, and C. And, and you being the first one, right, to sort of get the ball rolling, because you may feel like you absolutely didn't do anything wrong, right? All right, there are always three sides to every story, and I hate to say that, but that is the truth, right? But also having to do with the Emperor energy. I mean, some of you just may be very, very afraid and very based in fear. And because of that, it's almost like you want to come in and control things. So if things don't go A, B, and C way, as far as how you guys get back together, it's going to put you back on your heels, and you're going to feel like very unmotivated to actually want to go after that relationship again. Now, I do see in the near future you experiencing this Five of Pentacles energy with this person, which is very psychological, feeling very tested, feeling this almost palatable sense of lack, right? And this could be just the pain in the aftermath of the breakup, and you guys being in this weird space and just feeling like, oh my gosh, right? It's really hard for me to meet this person halfway because I feel so justified in A, B, and C, but the idea of never seeing them again is really difficult. So it's this need to control that I'm getting here, either from you or from them, but somebody's looking for perfection here, Leo, and it's something that needs to be addressed, right? Because there's a strong desire to be a free spirit on the one hand, because there's this need for things to be perfect. And because there's no such thing as that, right? I mean, I feel like you're in the space where you want to express yourself, you want to go after exactly what you want, but you can't allow perfectionism to get in the way, that you need to be perfect, that whatever, maybe I'm going to give you an example. Let's say your partner said something about either your personality or, I don't know, your physical appearance, whatever, fill in the blank, whatever it is. They said something about you and that cut you so deeply, and they didn't mean for it to. So it's like you feel like, well, I'm not perfect enough for them. And so if I'm not perfect, then they're probably never going to stay faithful. So I'm not even going down that road again. But the thing is, you don't need to be perfect. Maybe they just wanted to open that door for conversation to, maybe they're concerned about your health, or maybe they're concerned about something that's going on with you or you for them, right? It really could be as basic as that. The same way, they don't have to be perfect either, but there is this idea of somebody feeling like something or somebody needs to be perfect here. And it's this sense of defensiveness. Yes, with the Seven of Wands, feeling very defensive, Mars and Leo. Yeah, definitely feeling these obstacles. Because you feel like you have to stand up for yourself. You feel like you have to defend yourself, and you're in a space where your moral code and your personal philosophy are very strong to you right now. Clarifying the Seven of Wands, we have the Fool, and the Fool is about a fresh, like whole new start, taking a chance, going in a different direction. So for a lot of you, this is a new relationship. Others of you, you're open to a new approach within this relationship, but you're very confused about it because we have the Two of Wands here. So the Two of Wands can indicate a new romantic partnership, maybe through work or friends, but there are two aspects to the situation, and you have to figure out which is the right thing for you. So some of you may be meeting somebody new, going in a new path, making some really significant changes in your life, right? And meeting new people as you move forward. But you still, like, somewhere in your energy, in your psyche, you're like, okay, but what about this person? Now we have the Four of Wands. This is a nice energy for those of you meeting somebody new, because this is a new partner opening up their heart and really expressing their feelings and their affection for you. So for some of you, it can be that. And for others of you, this can actually be the honeymoon card, like a homecoming card. So some of you may be in this space where you might be thinking about, should I new or should I past? New, past, new, past kind of thing. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles. You're very focused on being happy. The 10 is a very mature energy. This is a will you marry me card. This is an energy of building together, building family, coming together and building. Again, maturity. Queen of Swords, trying to figure out the psychological motivation of somebody. And then we have the Page of Cups, somebody coming in and offering something. So this is very good news coming in regarding the idea of relationship. And then we have the King of Cups, is about needing to settle some sort of conflict, both within yourself as well as with somebody else. So I have to tell you, even though the page could indicate a new relationship, it's also a new cycle, because we have very mature cards. We have the King, we have the Queen, we have 10. We have this 4. Now, again, because this could be honeymoon, homecoming, and this energy of being confused, I feel like some of you are going to be going back to somebody from the past and settling some sort of conflict that you guys experienced. Whereas others of you are going to be in this space where you're very ready to meet somebody new, focus on your happiness, right, with this new person. And all the while, you're going to be settling this conflict so that you can put to rest this relationship that did not work out in your past, so that you can enjoy the energy that you ultimately end up getting into, which is very interesting. I want to pull a couple of separation cards, though, just to get a feeling for where your souls are at with each other. Because a lot of times what we do out in the 3D relationship does not align with our soul and what we're really feeling, right? We have our soul, and our soul has to get through our ego and all of our fears and all of that stuff in order to manifest things. And that's where things can be challenging. I hide my true self from you because you challenged me to expand. The thought of you with someone else drives me crazy. If somebody doesn't want you to be with somebody else, letting you down was the worst decision I made. So there's definitely some sort of remorse. There's still a lot of emotion here. There's some sort of admittance, at least, to self, that that they hid their true self from the relationship, or you hid your true self from the relationship because you felt challenged by them. So depending on, which end of the spectrum you're falling on, but that's just the energy that's coming through for those of you in separation, but you're still on each other's soul, right? Okay, so now let's move on to those of you who are single. So single, ready to mingle, beautiful Leos. Beautiful Leos, okay. Wow, we got the world's coming out, but what's challenging this recognition that you've had? The moon. Oh, Leo, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, look, the moon is, it's a tricky energy, right? I mean, this is confusion and disappointment and feeling let down and feeling this lack of trust and just being very caught up in the emotions and looking at the cycles and past relation, and not only maybe one relationship, maybe several relationships sort of over the trajectory of your life, because in numerology, this is connected to the Hermit energy as well. So, definitely an energy of disillusionment is certainly your challenge right now in these lessons, right, that you've learned about relationships. So we have the Two of Wands as the basis. And in the recent past, we have the Six of Swords, moving away from toxicity. Okay, so I see a lot of really good focusing on yourself so that you can meet a really healthy connection. But I do see some of you still trying to work through an energy that you had been with. It does seem like in the past, right? This is about detachment and stepping away from the toxicity. And once you step away, it's like you realize, with a little bit of space and room to breathe, you realizing, what the reality was of the situation. You're feeling very sad and disappointed about it. But we have the Two of Wands as the basis of the situation. And then we have that clarifying the Nine of Coins. And the Nine of Coins is an energy of productivity, it really is. It's about doing some really solid work on yourself, very, very independent endeavor kind of energy. And once you do that really good work on yourself, working with the lessons and the disappointment that you've experienced here, you're able to then be very open and ready for a super healthy connection. But you're still in the space of Two of Wands, right? So some of you may be chatting up with somebody new through friends, through work, but in the meantime, you're actually still healing from something. It does seem like there is still somebody sort of left in your energy. Now, what's recommended for you to look at is this idea of justice, which is fairness. Justice is Libra. Libra is the landlord of the seventh house of relationships, of marriage, of serious partnerships, of those deep soul connections, right? And because it's ruled by Venus, Venus is very, very concerned about things being equitable and us feeling really good about ourselves, being in something and things being balanced and fair. So the recommendation is whatever it is that you're working through, whatever it is that you're thinking about going into, this idea of fairness needs to be looked at from both ends. You need to be fair and you need to expect that from someone else. Okay, it's like they can't expect something from you that they're not willing to provide, and then obviously vice versa. Now we have an external energy that's here waiting for you. Yes, Leo, very beautiful. Queen of Coins. First of all, this is telling me you're taking care of yourself, but this is a person who's reliable and supportive and affectionate and generous with their energy, and they understand this is somebody who would make a great partner to live with. And this is an energy that they just get what's necessary to make something work, which is really, really nice. And this is an energy that's external to you. But your challenge is in being able to find that happiness, being able to find that sweet spot, that family feeling with that person, right? That contentment, that deepening of romance and connection. And you're feeling it does seem like you're feeling very challenged by that, right? I mean, so some of you, it's because of a broken marriage or the broken relationship or whatever ended up breaking, and you're feeling kind of alone right now, even though it does seem like there is this really beautiful energy external to you. So we have the Four of Cups energy. So you have to be a little careful of this one here, because the Four of Cups is very much it's a restless energy. It's it's very apathetic. It's like, am I ever going to meet the one? Is this ever going to work out? Is it, and Leo, honestly, there does come a point sometimes where you look at all the relationships that didn't work out and what's the common denominator in them. And it's worth looking at yourself and looking at, your own stuff when it comes to what you allow and what you don't allow in relationships, because this is a very finger pointing energy. But the Four of Cups also does indicate that it's clear that the person who this is pulled on does need to heal some sort of past unhealed issue, and that it's not all anyone's fault. And that's part of where the growing can come in. In the final outcome energy here, we do have the Five of Cups, and it's focusing on the sadness, right? The loss and the leaving and what ended before you felt fully ready for it to end, right? Now, you are going to be able to deal with it. You're going to be able to assimilate whatever stress you're experiencing here, and whatever sadness, whatever disappointment or stress, whatever it is, and really sort of grab into or onto a new start. It does seem like. Wow, we have the Tower. Okay, wow, the Tower, the Wheel. All right, Leo, for a lot of you, I just want to say straight up, there's going to be an internal Tower moment where you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I have to stop doing that. A, B, and C. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be a better version of myself in relationship and trying to get back with somebody for a new beginning. Others of you, This is, recognizing that something is just over the way it is and saying, this is like a turning point energy. When we have the tower and the wheel, there's no question. This is a turning point energy, big changes within yourself in order for you to incite a new chapter of passion. We have 2 pages here, which incite new connection, not new cycle more than anything. This Page of Wands, being very in the space of wanting to express yourself, kind of go out there, and just really express yourself, very much express yourself and create this connection, this new cycle of connection. Some of you are looking to do it with somebody who you were in a relationship with already. Others of you are looking at brand new. We have this idea of King of Cups. For either interpretation, there is this need to settle a conflict within yourself as well as with somebody else, Leo. It does seem like that. We have the Empress energy, which is straight up Venus. This is all about growth and expansion and fertility and the idea of mothering and the idea of family and growth. And there's 7 of Wands energy. And let me just pull one more because these 3 are coming together here. And then we have the High Priestess. Okay, wow. Okay, so, for some of you, I feel like you may be dealing with somebody on the down low, either getting pregnant, having a baby, something about a child, you finding out that there was a child, something like that. Others of you, we have the High Priestess energy, again, Mother of the Tarot, 7 of Wands, feeling the need very much to defend, right? Maybe not even yourself. Maybe you feel like you need to actually defend you and your kids, and you taking some sort of approach where you're trying to strategize the situation. The High Priestess is about secrets. It's about thinking and feeling things underneath your hood and really not being very communicative about it, right? Because it's a moon energy. So that's very interesting to me, because it almost feels like for those of you who are single, you're still dealing with the residue of some sort of relationship that didn't work out. Some of you with children are going to be in a space where maybe you're fighting for some sort of child support or some sort of divorce settlement. But you're not you're not disclosing everything that you're feeling right now. You're not disclosing everything, which is a good thing. Keep it under the hood, whatever it is, if you're resonating with it like that. Those of you who are in a space of, wanting to meet somebody new, this is settling this conflict within yourself. And once you settle this conflict, you're opening yourself up to meeting somebody new, even though your moral code and your personal philosophy are going to be very, very important to you. It does seem like you're going to be very dug into how you think something needs to be if you're getting into a relationship. Like, you're very dug into where you want to live, something to do with money. You're very sort of dug into something, and you're not bothering to share it, so that it's like some sort of secret there. Oh, wow. So we have the Devil energy. So you may not be sharing some sort of addiction that you have, Leo. You may not be sharing some sort of imbalance. Maybe you're not sharing the fact, if you're meeting somebody new, that you maybe have some sort of anxiety or depression that you're battling with, right? Because the devil is any sort of imbalance that we might struggle with, anything from addiction to anxiety, depression, narcissistic tendencies. This could even have to do with cheating, anything like that. You may be not wanting to disclose some sort of cheating situation that went on in your life, especially if you guys are in a space of actually, as I mentioned before, getting back together with somebody here from the past. So I really am getting a read for both situations. And since this is a general read, I'm going to indicate both of them to you. So let's just pull a couple of oracles on this. Fork in the road. Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Fork in the road, right? It's 100%, right? We get the wheel and the tower for sure, right? It's like make or break. What are you going to do here? Blessed, you're very blessed to be in some sort of situation. Somebody's got your back on the other side. Ooh, round and round. So this is somebody that you've done some sort of rodeo with already. This is not your first go. It does seem like somebody from the past is going to be dealt with here. Tune out distractions and have faith. Stay focused on what it is that you really want, need, and desire in this situation. Man, oh man, I feel like I need a closing card for this because I was not really expecting that. Ten of Swords. There's an ending to a challenging time period, and even though it's painful, you're going to end up experiencing a lot of release from the stress and this pressure that you've been feeling up to this point because of whatever's been going on here. So, yeah, I mean, that's necessary, right? In order for you to move on and get into something either new, or even if you're going to get back and try to fix something from the past, you need to have that Ten of Swords, because whatever was going on in the past wasn't good, right? So now put that over there. If you guys are going to give it a go again, okay. If you're not and you want to go in a different direction, you have to release whatever toxicity this was that was going on. Okay. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys next time. All right. Bye-bye.